Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a little bit different than the normal Land Rover content. Today we're going to try and sort this out. This is Kate's. This is Kate. You've not met her yet, but you will. It's a 2015 Ford Focus Titanium. And in November or early December, she was going to work in it. And we just had all the snow. It was all icy, black ice. If you don't know what black ice is, look it up. So the gritters had been out, gritted the roads, and then it rained and then froze again. So all the grit was washed away. Tried to stop and the car just went straight into the back of another car. The damage on it wasn't that bad. So when I looked at it when she came home with it, you could tell that the crush cans or the crumple zone, being this bar on the front, which is a sacrificial bar, the bumper was just missing the grille. That was broken. We had a bit of damage on the top where it folds over to the flat bit where it says Ford. That was slightly marked. The lady was still there that she bumped into. She had like an old 2013 BMW. I don't know what series it was. I'm not into Beamers. She said, you know, we'll do a deal on it. I'll pay for her car to be repaired or do it myself, and we'll pay for this. So neither of us had to go through the insurance to keep the premiums low. However, she went home to her dad, who's a mechanic, and then they decided that they'd try and put a claim in for whiplash and all that stuff. So the insurance then wanted Kate's car to be done through them, which it made no sense for us to try and fix it if the insurance were involved anyway. So they took the car away, they were going to repair it. The insurance company then turned around and said, we'll scrap it. So Cat D'd it, sent it to Copart, and Copart said that they'll do a buyback price of around, I think it was £1,300. But the market value of these cars is around 5 or 6 grand depending on what it is. This is the titanium model. It's got relatively low mileage on it, and it just cost us more to buy another one like it than we got paid out for it. So it made sense to buy it back. Can we repair it for a reasonable price to make it still less than it would be to replace it? Let's give it a go. So know that there is an AC leak on this car, or air conditioning leak should I say, and I've bought the part for it, but it's this pipe runs all the way down underneath into the bottom of the into all that jumble down there. So I'm going to try and get that replaced first and then see how we get on. So this is the pipe. It is the AC fitting. It is OEM standard. Got this for 55 quid on eBay, so add that to the price. Throughout this we're going to do a tally on how much it costs versus how much another one of these costs, and we'll have a look at it on the end and we'll see how much we saved in fixing it versus not fixing it and buying another one. So let's crack on. And I think it is starting to snow. English weather. Normally if you're going to do any AC work you would have to evacuate the system and reclaim all the gas rather than expelling it, but because this has got a hole in it there's no risk of that, so we're just going to get straight in, take the pipe work off, replace it, vac it and regas it. So let's do it. The nut and bolt that hold this together is steel, which means it does corrode. To avoid breaking any pipe work that is good, I do advise holding it with a pair of grips and then undoing the nut. And if you think this part is fiddly, just wait till we get to the bottom part. You haven't seen anything yet. With the top half removed, I moved on to the bottom half, but this is where it got tricky. The bottom half of the pipe connects directly into the condenser unit. Again, with the nut being rusted or stuck, every time I tried to undo it, it would twist the condenser unit. This isn't good, because if I was to twist this any further, I would risk damaging the condenser unit. But because we're trying to do this on a budget, I decided that I would take all the crash damage components off first and improve access to the condenser unit. Using a trolley jack, I'm just taking the weight of the rad pack, because when I take all the bolts out, it will drop and I don't want to damage anything. So we've got the crush cans off, or the crumple zone as a lot of people call it. I just want to show you this. Can you see the size difference in the new one, well, the second-hand unit that we were fitting, versus the original? You should draw your attention to this area, and this is what you don't see when you have a minor collision. You don't see any of this. You see the bend here versus that bend. I've just cut this to get a bit of flex on it because it gripped the radiator. So comparing this to this. So when you have a bump in your car and you think everything's okay, it might not all be as it seems. So it's always worth, if you hit a wall or something, it doesn't have to be another car, if you hit a wall or something, then it's always best to get it checked out. That's why they don't build these anymore, because their crumple zone is your car. Right, so I cut the camera off for a little bit because it was eating the battery, and I just kept doing the same stuff over and over. Basically what I've done is I've took the crush cans off in the crumple zone so we can get access to the AC fitting, the bottom one here. Oh, and I couldn't get it out, it corroded around this stud. So I tried all sorts. I tried warming it up, tried tapping down the side of it with a screwdriver and a hammer, but you've got to be careful because it does, even if you're gentle, it starts warping the bottom of it. There's no splits in it that I know of, so what I'm going to do, well, what I managed to do is I did manage to get it off. So there's the original. It did snap because it had a hole in the bottom of it. You can see it's a different colour there than it is on that side. There was a hole there. So anyway, it snapped off. So it's a bit unorthodox, so I tried everything, and the last resort was to get a grinding disc down between, down the middle of the flange, because having looked at the new one, I realised that the flange on the pipe was a male fitting, and it didn't matter about this because we're going to replace it. So carefully I cut through it with a grinder. And you shouldn't really do this on refrigeration systems or anything like that, but because it's going to work or it's not going to work. It's one of them things, isn't it? It's not the end of the world. So I cut through, and I lubricated it and worked it, and lubricated it and worked it. So finally managed to get it off. So we're just going to see. We're going to put the new pipe on, connect it up, and what I think we'll do is we'll gas it before we rebuild it, because then we know if the condenser's okay or not. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to gas it, repipe it, vac it and regas it, and see how we get on. So we've got it lined up, just doing a test on it. Just put a little bit in just to see if it holds pressure, so just going to see if it maintains. Doing a leak test with soapy water, and we're just seeing if there's any leaks on any joints, but it seems to be all good. So we can leave it like this for about 10-20 minutes, and we'll vac it out again. And then we will go from there with the rebuild. We're still holding what it was when I've gassed it, so I don't think we've got any loss on it. So I think we're good to go with the rebuild. Fingers crossed we can get this done, and some sort of shape for end of play before it goes too dark. We've had snow today, we've had rain, and it's brutally bloody cold, so I just want to get done and get in and have a shower. Let's crack on! So the bumper's back on. We've done a lights test, indicators, front fogs, flash, high beam, low beam, and we're good. What we need to do now is gas it up, do the AC, and then we are golden. All I need to do then is in the future, get it jacked up, get the belly pan on it, which I'm not going to do today, and replace this headlight because it's busted there. But that's all for another time. A torr is a measurement of vacuum. So you're going to go down to 2 torr. And that'll boil off the water because water will boil at negative pressures. Let's just elaborate on that. This is Mount Frigi. Down here at sea level, the atmospheric pressure is around 1 bar. At this pressure, water usually boils around 100 degrees C. And at the top of Frigi, the air pressure is about 0.5 bar, where water boils at 80 degrees C. In refrigeration, moisture in the system is very bad. So we vacuum down to 2 torr or less, which means water will boil and evaporate at 15 degrees or less. After that crash course of thermodynamics, let's get back to it. It'll just do it naturally. So I'm going to stick him in there, vacuum it down to 2 torr, keeping an eye on it. And it's surprisingly still got battery in it. I've not used it for a while. And then we can regas it. So now we've vacuumed it out, connecting this to the gas, and we'll measure it back in again. So now we're putting the gas back in. And we'll see how we get on with that. So what I'm going to start it. Or not. And we'll put the AC on. AC on. Max AC. And there you go, she's done. This is the person who crashed it. No more crashing cars, you. So, how much did it cost? So what did it cost to repair this car? The buyback value is 1400. The AC hose cost 55. Bumper, 300 quid. Crash bar, 60 quid. In total it costs around £1,815. Using eBay, I found 10 cars with the same spec and mileage. I added up all the prices and divided it by 10 to get an average price of the car, which is around 4750. Minus the repair cost, and we saved a whopping £2,935. This is an estimation because I think we will have to replace that headlight, which is about another £100. Well, that's how much it costs to get this car back on the road. She could MOT it again, even though it is MOT'd, but insurance advised her to MOT it again, just to cover her. But other than that, it'll be back on the road next week. Job's a good one. Cheers for watching. See you in the next one.